Chapter 24. Fleur had gone for a long walk to calm down after the police left, and when she returned to the Appleby's house, all the curtains had been drawn, and a stern face Irma faced her. "I want you out of this house. I don't want your key." Fleur removed her door key from the keyring in her pocket. "I have no desire to share this house with you." "Good, you're no longer welcome in any part of it, or anything save the clothes you call yours." "I'll pack now," Fleur said, making for the stairs. "And go where?" "That's my business." "To your country boy, no doubt," Irma scoffed. "Hope you enjoy leaving a bubble pop." "To my fiancé." Fleur held up a hand, and the ring obliged by glinting rather splendidly in the hallway lighting. Irma didn't look impressed. She simply laughed in her best cruel manner. "I hope you enjoy being poor." Fleur did not overact as perhaps Irma had hoped. It wasn't that the fight had gone out of her, but she had come to the conclusion while she walked that she had contributed to her father's drinking problem. Through all the tension with Irma, the revelation had reached her soul, she was sure, and now that soul wanted to be rid of the hate, rid of the pain, rid of everything connecting her to Irma. It wouldn't be easy because the potential inquest was still looming, and there was a business, of course, no matter which way she tried to sell it to herself. Fleur knew she was still inextricably linked to her enemy. The business would be a good distraction now. "Any funeral calls?" Fleur asked, pausing at the bottom of the stairs. "No calls, just a visitor, Mr. Wren." Fleur frowned. The name escaped her momentarily, and "their baby's dead," Irma said, flat and heartless. Fleur felt as though she'd taken a blow. How did Irma do that? How could she be so callous to say that aloud and not show any care? "I told him it wasn't convenient." "You what?" "You heard. I let him know my husband had died and we were unable to help." "How long ago was this?" "Barely 5 minutes before you walked in." "Did you get that dress?" "Yes." He written it down, but I wrote on it in the waste paper basket. "This is why my father needed a secretary and not a new wife." "We have a rule, Irma. Dad and I never turn away a grieving family." And then it hit her. Wren. Wait, was this James Wren? So what if it was? Fleur closed her eyes momentarily in sorrow. The inevitable must have occurred, that poor child and the poor family. Irma went on speaking, ignoring her. "And fret not, I'll be taking calls and making sure you know about them. We don't want the business failing, do we? Or we'll both lose out. After today, I'll be giving you my key to the mortuary." "What do I want for? What do I want that for?" Irma said, looking disgusted. "I've got no reason to poke around in there." "You'll need it if you take a call for undertaking." And how do I reach you, Irma? "If you think I'm going to protect the business for you, then you have me wrong. After I handle the Wren's needs, I shall step away, and apparently it's all yours now anyway. You can find a new mortician from tomorrow, and good luck." "You can't do that." "I just did." "Watch your father's business go to hell." "No, I'll watch your business do that. I can always build another, because Irma, you can't take away my skills or my reputation. In time, no one is going to come to your funeral. You might be able to convince a few with your clever acting for a while, relying on the name Appleby, but it won't last. In this, I'm confident. You're a trickster and a con, and you'll be found out." Irma barely blinked. "I'll just sell it then. Do what you like. All you have is the name, and that will only go so far once you've sold it. On to the dodgy people you plan to." Fleur turned away to find the Wren's address in North Adelaide and quickly changed into her special undertaking gown. She was out of the house in moments to find out one of the lads washing the car. "Quick, we have a call at Robbie," she said. "North Adelaide." As miserable as she felt for the Wrens, she was inwardly relieved to have important work to attend to. It would occupy her for the rest of the day at least, and set the pain of Tom's departure aside, giving her a bit more time to confront the pain, which felt unbearable on top of the pain of losing her father. She wound down the window and inhaled the fresh sea air, tasting the salt on the breeze. She needed it to cleanse her mind and have visions of her father on a slab in the Royal Adelaide Hospital mortuary, with a pathologist preparing to cut him open from clavicle to navel. She knew how the coroner's studies went. With nothing left to chance, all major organs were removed, weighed, scrutinized, even the tongue. She thought of all the fond words her father had spoken to May and herself, and she began to cry again at the thought of her father being muted. She leaned back. She needed the wind to dry her cheeks before they arrived. "According to the map, it's down here, Fleur. We've got lost once. We got lost once, your father and I know we drove down this street several times." Robbie grinned, and then his face fell as he saw her. "So I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." "It's all right, really. I want to hear the memories. Don't stop." She felt sorry for his fallen expression. "I know he normally didn't have city funerals to undertake, so I can understand you getting lost." Robbie frowned as he searched along the street. Number 43? Fleur nodded. Here we are. Want me to park and wait? Thank you. I'll be right over there, he pointed. Fleur left the car and opened the gate of an imposing pair of villas adjoined and built in the trademark bluestone of this neighbourhood of Adelaide. Decorative iron lace added beauty to the first story, and it was repeated at the fence and gate between the stone pillars. Daffodils lined the path, blending a helplessly cheery area as she walked up to the door, but Fleur noticed the curtains were drawn and the familiar silence of grief surrounding the house that now embraced the bereaved. She swallowed. This was going to take her all her composure, but she was known for it and now needed to prove it wasn't an empty claim. The door knocker was wrapped in black fabric, so she tapped gently on the door with her knuckles and kept waiting a long time. She tried again, and once more there was a protracted pause before Jamie answered. The sleeve on his arm was rolled up, and his braces dangled at her hips. Fleur, he breathed. I wasn't sure. I know, Jamie. I'm so sorry you encountered Irma. She's my stepmother and most unhelpful. I was told that. He didn't finish, looking uncertain of how to say, I know what you were told, and it's true. I'm newly bereaved, but I think your family needs is greater than mine right now. His little poise collapsed, and he stumped at the door. I didn't know who to contact. Claire said there was only one person to call. His voice shook. He too was in shock. Fleur found a gentle smile. I'd like to think so. I'd consider it an honour to help your family. Come in, please. Fleur let Jamie guide her into the family sitting room, where Claire sat with her hair in disarray and red splotches on her cheeks. She lifted her eyes, even weeping hadn't dimmed the colour of a cloudless autumn morning. Alfie fell asleep, she whispered, nodding to herself. He's just sleeping. She hummed a little under her breath, a lullaby. Fleur looked at Jamie, whose face told her everything she needed to know about the situation. Jamie, shall we have a cup of tea? He looked like he needed something to do. Yes, good idea. He couldn't get away fast enough. Claire? The bereaved mother looked up again, slightly dreamy. Do you remember me? Yes, of course, thank you for coming, she said, and returned her gaze to her dead child. Where are the children? They've gone to school. Only William knows. Fleur swallowed the rise of painful emotion at the news. She could try, but knew she wouldn't get close to how Claire must be feeling. Jamie returned. Kettle's on, he said, pointing his thumb over his shoulder. Has the doctor been called, Jamie? He came early this morning and pronounced. Fleur nodded firmly so he wouldn't have to say it. He told us to make our arrangements, and I was able to drive down to the port to find you. All right, okay, I hear the kettle, Fleur said, and followed Jamie as he disappeared to switch off the flame down a small hallway into a tiny pillar. Jamie, she continued as the whistle died and vapors settled. How long ago did Alfie pass? He trembled as he lifted the spout cover away, his arm shaking, and as he poured the water over the leaves in the pot. He didn't wake us up as he usually does around 5. Always up with the birds, our Alfie, he said, tears beginning to roll down his cheeks. Sorry, please don't be. This is the saddest of all situations. You're allowed to show it. I want to be strong for Claire. You will be. You'll be strong for each other. Claire's incredibly stoic. What do we do next? Well, if you can encourage her to drink a sweet cup of tea, I'll do the rest. You can trust me. I won't rush her. But I will have to take Alfie from you both because I can't tell. It's been a few hours now. Well, I won't go into the details. It's important I take care of him for you. Can you make all the arrangements? Yes, of course. There's a small chapel attached to our funeral home that you're welcome to use unless you rather. No, that sounds good. My family are all too far away to anticipate that also. Fleur waited, as James said, just shrugged. As you know, I grew up in the north of a far-flung farm. Country people are just small. He searched for the right accepting, Fleur offered, hoping she'd found it for him. Yes, death happens. It tends to be more obvious when you're living in an unforgiving landscape as I did. I gather your child was raised into. She nodded, looking down, hating the mention of Tom. Yes, he mentioned how challenging it is. My folks are not hard-hearted, but I reckon they would resign to the loss faster. They remind me that we have 3 bony kids, all rosy-cheeked and healthy. And we've lost a baby who hasn't yet developed into a little boy who knows us or knows about life. Fleur swallowed. This was exactly what she sensed. So many people, mainly men, went wrong, but she held her tongue and was glad of it when he continued. I don't subscribe to that, Fleur. I have to say I was as much in love with Alfie as I am with Will or Maddie or beautiful Susan. To suggest I'd miss him less is to reduce him somehow. All she could do was nod, but I understand the attitude when where it comes from, and that is not meant to be cruel. It's about finding resilience and accepting the reality of life, that it isn't always kind. Fleur gave a soft smile. Claire would know all this too. I suspect her time as a nurse in difficult places has prepared her more than any of us. I would have thought so too, and she was certainly readying herself. But now that the moment has arrived, she reacted like any mother feeling bereft. Jamie shook his head. When should the funeral happen? How about tomorrow? I know it's fast, but I've found in these instances it's better to hold the funeral as soon as possible. Flo didn't want to start explaining about how quickly their little boy's body was cooling and changing. She needed to get Alfie back to the mortuary quickly. Don't worry, I'll make all the arrangements and I'll telephone you the details. He straightened his hair and then did it again in emotional fidgeting. Oh, Flo, we don't have a lot of cash just at the moment. We ploughed everything into the house for the children. But I do have an odd job, and Claire starts her work. Surely you won't need anything other than the cameras. You won't need anything other than the cemetery's burial costs, which will be minimal, about £3. I'll be waiving all costs for my involvement. Wait, what? He looks stunned. Why? It's your baby, Jamie. I can't possibly do anything but donate my time, my care, and everything else that an undertaker provides. But the coffin, I was warned it could be expensive. As I said, don't think any of that. Let me do this for your family. As a friend, I don't know what to say, he said, embarrassed. Let's comfort Claire and let me take care of Alfie from here. I'm incredibly grateful and surprised. I'll pour the tea. Back in the sitting room, Fleur regarded Claire again, humming quietly to Alfie, who was wrapped in his baby blanket, with a gentle gaze and the realization that, as grief-stricken as she felt over losing her father, nothing could come close to losing a child. It was helping her find perspective on her own bereavement. Here we are, darling, Jamie offered gently. Fleur here thinks you need a sweet cup of tea, and you. Claire smiled affectionately at her husband. Thanks, Jamie, but I can't, she said, not holding Alfie. Oh, here, let me, Fleur said. May I hold Alfie for you? Claire looked unsure, but Jamie nodded, urging her to accept the offer. She handed the steel bundle into Fleur's arms. Ah, there now, I've got him, Fleur said softly. Hello again, darling Alfie, she murmured. Aren't you handsome? She wasn't lying. Alfie looked as though he was simply sleeping. A perfect-looking baby, captured on canvas by a painter. Fleur looked up at Claire, who was smiling as she wept. The tears were good. She'd seen this before with mothers in shock. Once the tears arrived, it meant they were beginning to let themselves accept, or at least understand, that their child had died. He really was a good baby, Claire said, the tears flowing freely now. You met him on a bad day, and there it was, another hurdle behind them. Once a mother began to speak in past tense about the baby, and another enormous step had been taken towards letting go. Fleur knew now that she would be able to leave with Alfie soon. Thanks for listening.